He kicked the door in hard enough for the wind to scatter the ash still hanging in the air. The fire had gone out days ago. The coals didn't hiss. The iron pot hadn't been moved. His boots stuck to the boards with something thick and half-dried. He looked down. It was blood. Not old, but not warm either. She didn't turn around. Her dress was plain, sleeves rolled high, hands red to the wrists. She scrubbed with a rag that used to be a shirt. His shirt. The one he left on the peg when he ran. He stepped forward. "You ain't supposed to be here." She twisted the rag tighter and pressed it harder into the wood. "Neither are you." He reached for the shotgun leaning against the wall. She didn't flinch. "I'll ask once," he said. "I already answered." Her voice was calm, worn flat like a stone in water. "Place was empty. I cleaned it." He scanned the room. No signs of struggle. No extra boots. One plate drying by the basin. One chair pulled out. One bed with the blanket still tucked military tight. "Who bled here?" She wrung out the rag into the bucket. The water turned pink, then red. "Man came looking for someone. Didn't find him." "What did he find?" She glanced over her shoulder now. "Me. And he won't be coming back." He moved toward her slowly, stepping over the thickest blood trail. "Name?" "Don't know it." "You lie." She stood up, wiping her hands on the apron. Her hair was pinned back with something metal, not a clip, a nail. She looked him dead on. "So do you." He didn't answer, just watched her breathe, slow and easy, like she'd been here longer than him. "You know who I am?" he asked. "Course. You say it like you've known." "I have." "How?" She nodded toward the window. "They used to tell stories at the feed house. Outlaw this, exile that. Said you broke a marshal's hand and smiled while he begged." He didn't smile now. "Did I?" She stepped past him toward the stove, lit the match with one strike. Flame caught fast. "I don't care." "Why'd you come here?" She took down a dented kettle, filled it from the jug. "House needed cleaning. You were gone. I stayed." "You stayed?" She turned. "I was here before you ever left." His brow furrowed. "No, you weren't. You just didn't see me." "You spying?" "No, just never left." He stepped back. "You talk in riddles." "No, you just think too fast." She set the kettle down. "You gonna shoot me?" "No." "Then sit." "I don't sit for strangers." She leaned against the wall. "Then don't sit." The wind rattled the door. He reached to bolt it, then stopped. "You lock it when you were here?" "No." "Why not?" "Didn't need to." He ran a hand through his hair. "You know how long I've been gone?" 73 days. He stared at her. "I counted." Her voice dropped. "Every morning I swept ash off your doorstep." He swallowed hard. She looked at him with something quiet and dangerous in her eyes. "You want me gone?" He didn't answer. "You want me to say sorry?" Still nothing. She took a step closer. "You want to know my name?" "No." "You already do." His fingers twitched at his side. "You're crazy." "Maybe." "You kill that man?" She looked past him toward the blood on the floor. He came with fire in his mouth and spit for a tongue. "And?" "I answered the way I know how." He studied her hands. No rings, no fresh wounds, just skin worn raw from scrubbing. "You used to be married?" "Still am." "To who?" "To whoever stays." He stepped back again. "That ain't how it works." She shrugged. "Works for me." "You always talk like this?" "Only when someone's listening." He moved toward the hearth. She didn't stop him. He bent low, running his fingers through the blackened edge of the stone. "You burn anything here?" "Just old names." "Yours?" "Yours." He turned to face her. "What do you want?" "Peace." "Wrong cabin." She tilted her head. "Then why'd you come back?" He had no answer. The kettle whistled. She poured 2 cups. "I didn't ask for one," he said. "You don't have to drink it." He took it anyway. It was hot, bitter, no sugar, but it stayed in his hand. She sat on the chair. He stood near the window. "I buried the rag out back," she said. "What rag?" "The one I used to stop the bleeding." "You didn't burn it?" "No." "Why not?" "So you'd know someone bled for this place." He looked down at his boots, at the prints they left between the smears of dried red. "You plan on staying?" She didn't blink. "I already did." "You think you belong here?" I don't think I need to. He moved toward the door, cracked it open. The wind bit hard. He shut it again, turned around slow. You say my name again, he said. She did. And he didn't stop her. She didn't ask if he slept well. She didn't ask if he dreamt. Morning had poured itself through the cracks in the roof. Lighting up the floor, she hadn't finished scrubbing. He stood there in silence. She dipped the rag again. You gonna keep doing that? Cleaning. Same as always. It ain't yours. Don't need to be. He stepped forward. This cabin ain't a church. You don't gotta keep wiping sins off the floor. She didn't look up. I don't clean for forgiveness. Then for what? For myself. He leaned on the edge of the table. You always talk in riddles or just when there's blood on the floor. She stopped moving. You always hold a gun when you feel small or just when I'm here. He didn't answer. The shotgun was resting against the doorframe. Close enough. He picked it up anyway, let it hang loose at his side. You plan on using that? Depends. On what? Whether or not I trust you. You don't have to. He stepped forward. She stood. He raised the barrel a little. She didn't move. Last time someone stood like that, he said, they ended up dead. Maybe they needed killing. You think I won't? I think you're scared to try. His grip tightened. Why? Because you're not sure what killing me would mean. I've done worse. You've done stupid, but not this. You think you're important? No, I think you're tired. He stared at her. You got a name? I do. You gonna say it? No. Why not? Because you'll forget it again. I don't remember ever learning it. You weren't listening. He lowered the shotgun a little. You say things like you've been watching me a long time. I have. How long? Long enough to know where the rot starts. What's that supposed to mean? This cabin, this land, that name of yours, all of it soaked in something bad. Then leave. No. You got a death wish? No. I got a backbone. He clicked the safety off. She didn't blink. You keep daring me. You keep threatening me. You should be scared. You should be ashamed. The wind outside pushed against the door. It creaked loud. He flinched. She didn't. He looked toward the hearth. The fire had died again. Nothing but cold stones and gray dust. You know who built this place? He asked. Your father. You know what he did here? She nodded once. Every town has a house like this. He stared. And you came anyway. I didn't come. I stayed. He shifted his stance. What's that mean? It means you left. I had reason. So did I. He studied her hands. Red again. From scrubbing. Not blood. You always clean in silence. I used to hum. What changed? Someone told me silence keeps you safer. They lie. No, they just weren't strong. He sat down, gun across his lap now. You married? Was. Dead. Gone. Left you? No, I let him go. You kill him? No, I just stopped waiting. He ran his thumb along the edge of the stock. You always answer like that? You always ask to prove something? I'm not proving. You're trying to. To who? Yourself. He stood, set the shotgun against the wall again, walked to the basin and poured himself a cup of water, drank half, spilled the rest. You gonna keep acting like you belong here? He asked. I don't act. What do you want? Peace. You think this is where you'll find it? I think it's where you lost it. He turned sharply. You keep talking like you know me. I do. You don't. I know the way men like you walk when they return, shoulders hunched, like ghosts might climb on. You think I carry ghosts? I think you carry shame. Don't we all? She picked up the rag again. Some of us wash it out. He stepped to the door, opened it. The sky outside was pale, the kind of light that makes you squint, even if you've got nothing to look at. You planning to stay? Yes. You asking me for permission? No. Then why tell me? Because you'll run out of ways to threaten me. He turned around. Say that again. You heard me. He stared at her. She stared back. You don't flinch easy, he muttered. I flinched enough years ago. Got bored of it. You think I'm gonna let you just, live here? Like this? I think you don't know what you'll do. Then maybe I need to decide. Go on then. He didn't. She turned back to the floor. dipped the rag again, pressed it against the last stain. He stood in the doorway, watching her move slow and steady. Like the blood never meant a thing. Like it had always been there. And maybe it had. She pulled the bed away from the wall without asking. He stood in the doorway, arms crossed. Dust rose. Wood scraped rough against the floor. Behind the bed frame, in the crack where mice used to hide, she found it. A thick book. Leather cracked like it had been burned and frozen, then left to dry in shame. No title on the front, just a loop of twine holding it shut. He didn't speak. She untied it. You shouldn't. I already did. The pages whispered when she turned them, yellowed, lined in ink. First names, then numbers, then notes. Small ones, descriptions. Ages, weights, paid in full, paid in kind. No receipts, no mercy. He stepped closer. That his? She nodded once. Yours now. I never touched it. But it touched you. He stared. I didn't ask to inherit nothing. You don't have to ask. Blood already did it for you. He took the ledger from her hands, flipped through pages like he was peeling off his own skin. Names he didn't know. Maybe names he did. The same handwriting on everyone, some with little X marks beside them. I don't recognize these people. Doesn't mean they didn't recognize him. He closed the book. Where was it? Between the bed and the wall. You think he meant to leave it? No. You think he meant to die? He didn't answer. She walked past him, grabbed the shovel from beside the door. Come on. He didn't move. Where are you going? Where I always go when something's too heavy. He followed her out, slow. The wind was quiet. The dirt behind the cabin stayed dry even after rain. She knelt, stuck the shovel deep. You do this often? He asked. Bury things? Yeah. Often enough to get good at it. You think burying it makes it go away? No. Just makes it quieter. He set the ledger down beside the hole. He never talked about anything. Men like him never do. I thought he just ran cattle. I thought he did what no one stopped. He crouched. You think I'm him? No. Then why bury it? She kept digging. Because you still live in his house. I didn't ask for any of this. You think I did? He watched her dig. Her hands didn't shake. Dirt flew clean. She made the hole wide, not deep. You want to burn it? He asked. No. Why not? Fire's too loud. He picked up the ledger again, held it like it might burn through his hands anyway. What if someone comes looking for it? Then let them dig. He turned the pages again. There was one name he paused on, a last name he recognized, from town, a man who used to bring eggs, then stopped. She saw his face change. You know someone in there? Yeah. You want to keep it now? No. You sure? He didn't speak, just dropped the book into the hole. It landed soft. She didn't cover it yet, just looked at him. Say something over it. Like what? Whatever you never said to him. He looked at the dirt, at her, then down again. He made me strong. He made me mean. She waited. He didn't teach me right from wrong, just who wins. Still, she said nothing. I hated him. Then I missed him. Then I hated that I missed him. She nodded. Good enough. She began to shovel dirt back in. Slow. Careful, like she didn't want to bruise the ground too fast. He joined her. No words. Just hands moving. When it was done, she patted the top once. There. Now it's yours no more. He brushed his hands off. That easy? No. But it's a start. They stood over the mound. No marker, no stone. Just packed earth where something once heavy now slept. You think the land remembers, he asked. It don't forget, but it forgives quieter than we do. They walked back toward the house. He opened the door for her. She stepped in first this time. He paused at the threshold, glanced back once at the dirt. She turned. You coming in? He nodded. Yeah. She set the shovel down. Hungry? Not really. Eat anyway. He sat. She poured water. No one mentioned the ledger again, but the floor felt cleaner, and he didn't pick up the shotgun that day. She opened the tin like she'd done 100 times before, scooping flour out with the old metal cup. This time, something clinked at the bottom, not a rock, not a spoon. She reached in and pulled it out slow. A gold ring, dull but still whole. He saw her holding it and froze. This yours? She asked. He didn't answer right away. Just stared at it like it might bite. It was my mother's. She leave it? No. She die wearing it? No. Then why was it buried under flour? He sat down. My father hid it, said it wasn't meant to be passed down, said it cursed the house. She turned it in her fingers. Still fits. You don't need to wear that. I know. He stood up. It ain't a game. I didn't say it was. I mean it. So do I. He stepped closer. You don't even know what it meant. She slid it onto her finger. Did he? It never got used. So it's been waiting. For what? For someone to wear it. You think that's you? I'm the one holding it now. He stared. It's just metal. Everything starts as just something. He rubbed his jaw. He said it was cursed. You believe that? No. Then why you sweating? I'm not. You sure? He didn't answer. She walked to the stove, poured hot water into the basin, washed the flour from her hands, left the ring on, let it glint when it caught light. Not shiny, just stubborn. You ever been married? He asked. No. Wanna be? Not really. Then why wear it? To see how it feels. And? Feels the same. You sure it don't feel heavier? Not yet. He leaned against the table. You planning something? Always. What now? Dinner. He frowned. I mean with the ring. She shrugged. It don't mean nothing unless someone gives it. I didn't. Didn't have to. He shook his head. You make things complicated. You make things quiet. That bad? No, just unfamiliar. They didn't speak for a minute. She pulled down the beans, chopped onions. He set the plates without being asked. You want me to take it back? He asked. No. You scared of what it might mean? No. Then why you wearing it still? I told you. Someone should. He watched her from across the table. Her sleeves were rolled high again. Her hands moved fast. The ring didn't slip, didn't shine much, but it stayed. Anyone ever proposed to you? He asked. Once. What happened? I said no. Why? He was afraid of silence. What about me? You just sit in it. That good? It's different. He stirred the beans while she leaned against the stove. Do you want to be alone? She asked. Sometimes. And the rest of the time? I don't know. Then don't ask me about the ring like you do. Do what? Like you want to tear it off, but don't know why. He looked at his hands, scarred knuckles, dirty fingernails. You think you're strong. I know I am. Then why are you here? Because strength needs a place to stand. Even if it's cursed. She tapped the ring once. I've worn worse. By nightfall, the air had turned colder. The stew simmered. They ate without talking. She set the spoon down. You don't scare me. He looked up. And I don't scare easy. He didn't blink. Good. You expect me to flinch when you raise your voice? No. You expect me to fold when you look hard? No. Then what do you expect? I don't. She nodded. That's the first honest thing you've said. He leaned back. Why are you really wearing that ring? Because it bothers you. And that's reason enough? It's the only reason that matters. He stood, picked up his plate, and walked to the basin. Rinsed it clean, said nothing. She stayed seated, watching the fire, one hand curled around the edge of the table, the other resting palm up, ring facing the ceiling. When he turned around, she said, I'll take it off if you ask me. He shook his head. Leave it on. You sure? No. But he meant it. They both heard it before they saw it, the slow crunch of hooves on dry gravel, the kind of rhythm that belonged to lawmen who didn't rush. He stepped onto the porch first, knife in one hand, wiping it down with an old cloth. She came out behind him, drying her hands on her apron. The rider passed without turning his head, just the back of a hat, a gray coat, a badge dulled with dust. You know him? She asked. Sheriff. From where? Everywhere. He didn't say more. The wind carried the sound of hooves away until it was quiet again. She leaned on the railing. Funny how they ride slow when they want to scare you. He's not here for that. No, he's measuring. For what? For how loud it'd be if he drew. She looked down the road. He ain't fast enough. Fast enough don't matter. He's not alone. She turned. I didn't see anyone. They don't come all at once. She stepped back inside. He stayed out, watched the horizon until it swallowed the dust. That night, she cooked without asking. He sat at the table, blade and whetstone in front of him. You always sharpen it that way? She asked. Every time. You expecting company? Don't need to be expecting to stay sharp. She set down the bowls. Still think he's measuring? He nodded. Saw his eyes. Saw his mouth, too. What did it say? Not yet. She sat. Didn't eat. Just stared at the blade as he dragged it slow, stone to steel. You ever kill a sheriff? She asked. Once. What for? He raised his hand to a girl, thought his badge made it fine. She looked away. What happened after? I left town. Alone? He nodded. You ever go back? No. You wanted to? Doesn't matter. She leaned forward. You think this sheriff knows about it? I think they all pass the same stories. And you think that ring on my finger don't say nothing? He glanced at it. It says plenty. Then let's give him something more. He stopped sharpening. You want to bait him? No, I want to tell him we don't kneel easy. He stared. We. The fire cracked. The blade gleamed. She stood, walked to the door. You hear that? He listened. Hooves again. Same rhythm. He rose quick, crossed to the edge of the porch. There he was. Same sheriff, same coat, same hat, riding slower this time. He's early, she muttered. He didn't blink. He wants us to know he's not circling. He's coming back. As the horse reached the edge of the fence, she lifted her hand. Not a wave, just enough. The sheriff tipped his hat. Didn't smile. Didn't nod. Just the tilt of courtesy that didn't mean peace. She spoke under her breath. He's got a grave somewhere with our names penciled in. I won't let him ink it. He won't need ink if you hesitate. I don't. Then prove it. He watched until the rider disappeared. Then he turned. Inside, she lit the lamp. He sat back down, picked up the knife, the stone again. You gonna keep doing that? Until the edge sings. She poured herself a drink. You ever think about what comes after? He looked up. After what? After we bury another man? No. Maybe you should. Why? So you don't forget why you stopped. I didn't stop. You should. He set the knife down. You sharpening something too? My voice. For who? For whoever thinks I'm quiet. He nodded. Fair enough. She stepped closer. You think we'll see him again tomorrow? No. Why not? He saw what he needed. And he'll send someone else next. You ready for that? I was born for that. She pointed to the knife. That blade won't do it alone. Neither will your words. Good thing we have both. He leaned back in the chair. You really gonna keep that ring on when he comes back? Especially then. You think it scares him? No, I think it confuses him. Good. She crossed her arms. You ever consider giving up the fight? He shook his head. I never learned how. Maybe it's time to learn. Too late. Not for me. They locked eyes, both tired, both sharpened. Outside, the wind picked up. The road was empty, but they knew better. Someone was always coming. She lit the candle without asking. One wick, one flame. Set it in the middle of the table between two tin cups. He stood in the doorway watching, arms crossed, unsure if this was a trick or a sermon. You doing something? He asked. Yeah? What? Saying words. What kind? The kind no one hears but you. He stepped closer. You mean prayers? No. Then what? Vows. He looked at the empty chairs. To who? To whoever stays. You want me to say something? You can. I don't know how. She shrugged. Then be quiet. I'll speak for both. He stayed standing while she sat, folded her hands like it mattered, eyes on the candle, voice low. I swear I won't run, she said. Even when the door's open, even when it's cold. He didn't move. I swear I won't ask for more than quiet. He looked down. I swear I won't flinch unless it's thunder. The wind knocked gently against the walls. The flame didn't flicker. She looked up. Your turn. I told you, he muttered. I don't know what to say. Then just sit. He pulled out the chair, slow. sat without speaking. The candlelight threw shadows on the table like broken branches. She watched him, waited. Finally he said, "I don't make promises." She nodded. "Good, then whatever you say might mean something." He exhaled. "I won't leave unless I have to." "Okay." "I won't raise my voice unless I'm bleeding." "Okay." "I won't call you woman like it's a burden." She smiled, faint. "Better." "I won't make you wait on me." "Say one more." He paused. "I'll try to stay human." That was enough. She blew out the candle, let the smoke curl around them like it had heard too much, and promised to forget. He stood first, pushed his chair back quiet. "That it?" She nodded. "That's all we needed." He didn't ask if it was real. He didn't ask if they were married now. She didn't care. The silence was enough. They'd shared it like scripture. Like people who had already buried every preacher they'd known. Later, she braided her hair. First time in years. No mirror, just muscle memory. Each twist a thread she thought she'd lost. He watched from the corner. "That new?" "No." "Looks like it." "It's old." "Why now?" She tied the end and looked at him. "Because now it feels safe to." "Safe?" "Enough." He nodded. "That means something." She stood, walked past him to the door, opened it slow. Morning was barely there. A soft gray, quiet. "You feel different?" he asked. "No." "Then why do you look it?" She shrugged. "I remembered how." "How what?" "How to be someone again." He stepped onto the porch behind her. They stood side by side, arms not touching. The wind smelled like rain that hadn't come yet. "You think it'll last?" he asked. "No." "You afraid of that?" "No." "Why not?" "Because I said the words." He nodded once. So did I. She turned to go back in. He stayed out there a while longer, not to watch the road, just to listen. To nothing. To everything. To the sound of someone who might never flinch again. The knock was soft, not scared, not polite, just one knock, then another, then quiet. He stood from the table slow, hand resting near the knife. She didn't move, just stared at the door like she already knew who waited. "Want me to open it?" he asked. "No." "You think it's trouble?" "Yes." He walked to the door anyway, opened it just enough. She couldn't have been more than 10. Thin. Dirt on her arms. Hem of her dress blackened like smoke had licked it and left. She held something against her chest. Leather. Bound tight. A ledger. "Who are you?" he asked. The girl looked past him, at the woman behind. She stepped forward. "This ain't your house." The girl didn't blink. It was once. He opened the door wider. "Where'd you come from?" "Don't ask questions you don't want answered." The woman narrowed her eyes. "What's your name?" "Don't have one." "You lost?" "No." "Then what do you want?" "I came to return what you forgot." He stepped aside. "She's not staying." The girl walked in like she'd always known the floor creaked in that spot near the stove. She set the ledger on the table. Her hands left black smudges on the wood. The woman stared at it. "Where'd you get that?" "It was under your old house." "I never had a house." "You did. You just didn't know it yet." He grabbed a tin cup, filled it with water, slid it across. "Drink." She didn't touch it. "Don't need it." He looked her over. "You hungry?" "No." The woman stepped closer to the ledger. "What's in there?" "Names." "Whose?" "Yours." He reached for the book. The girl placed her hand on it. "Not yet." He pulled back. "You got people looking for you?" "No." "You sure?" "Dead sure." She turned to the woman. "You remember a man named Collar?" The woman's jaw tensed. "Why?" "He kept lists. Said the land remembers through paper." The outlaw spoke low. "That name's in my father's ledger." "This one's different," the girl said. The woman opened the cover. First page was blank. Second held names. Children. Ages. Town names that never existed. "You write this?" The girl shook her head. "I just carried it." He stepped closer. "You trying to scare us?" "I don't have to try." The wind outside shifted. Loose boards tapped somewhere against the wall. The girl walked to the window, looked out like she expected someone. "You know this place is marked?" "For what?" he asked. "Waiting." "Waiting for what?" "For you to decide what to bury next." The woman crossed her arms. "You've been watching us?" "No, but something has." He moved around her slow. You talk too old. She turned. You act too young. He stopped. You here alone? The girl tilted her head. Depends what you mean. I mean, she cut him off. I came alone, but I didn't leave alone. The woman placed her hand on the ledger. You say these are our names. They're what's left of them. He pointed to the smoke marks on her dress. Fire do that? Yeah. Who started it? Same ones who always do. Who's that? The ones that smile when the sheriff rides by. He looked at the woman. You believe her? She nodded. Too much. The girl stepped back toward the door. I didn't come to stay. Then why bring this? So you stop forgetting. He held out the cup again. Drink something before you go. She took it. Didn't sip. Just held it. It'll all come back, you know. What will? What he did. What you ran from. What she cleaned. She set the cup down. Walked out. Didn't close the door. He stepped onto the porch. You need anything? She kept walking, bare feet in the dust, dress dragging ash. The woman picked up the ledger, flipped through names. Some of these are girls. He came back inside. I know. She stopped on a page with just 3 words. Widow, child, burned. He pulled a chair. Sat quiet. She sat across. We say anything? No. We do anything. We listen. The wind picked up again. The door creaked. No one shut it. Neither of them moved. The ledger stayed between them, and none of the names could be unread. The first crack of the hammer echoed like a shot. He drove the post into the dirt hard, both hands on the handle, jaw clenched tight. She followed, lifting the second post and setting it square, careful to keep it straight. Her hammer fell quieter, but steadier. The girl stood at the edge of the porch, arms folded, face blank. You ever built a fence before? He asked. No, the woman said. Why now? Because the line still matters. He looked at the gap between posts. Ain't gonna hold nothing. Not supposed to. What's it for then? She hit the post again. To say we stayed. He moved to the third hole. The girl brought over another post, dragging it behind her, like it weighed more than she did. She dropped it at his feet. Thanks, he said. She didn't reply. You always this quiet? No, she muttered. You tired? No. You angry? Sometimes. You scared? She stared at the wood. Should I be? Depends on what you think's coming. I think it already came. He didn't ask what she meant, just picked up the next post. His palms were blistered. He shifted his grip, hit again. The woman wiped sweat from her neck. We don't need barbed wire. I know. No gates either. No locks. No signs. No warnings. Just boards in the ground. Just us. The girl sat in the dirt now, digging a shallow groove with a stick. You think people will know what it means? He looked at her. They'll feel it. The sun climbed higher. His hammer hand trembled. She offered him water. He drank without a word. How many posts you planning to put in? The girl asked. Enough to mark the line, the woman said. And then? Then we rest. He drove another post. This one split at the top. He tossed it aside, grabbed another. You bleeding? The girl said. He looked down. Palm torn open, blood slipping past the dirt. Doesn't hurt, he said. You're lying. She walked to the porch, came back with cloth, wrapped his hand tight. You do this before? He asked. For someone else, she said. He didn't ask who. He didn't need to. Now you're tied here, she whispered. He looked at her. That right? She nodded. The woman stepped between 2 posts and stared out at the open stretch of dry field. You think the sheriff will come back? He nodded. Yeah. You think he'll understand this? No. You think he'll respect it? No. Then why do it? He tapped the base of a post with his boot. Because it's ours now. She stepped closer. He gonna see that ring on my finger and call it false. Let him. He gonna see this girl and ask where she came from. We tell him. He won't believe it. We don't need him to. The girl kept digging lines in the dirt. You think he'll bring others? Probably. He gonna bring rope? Probably. Then what? Then we stand where the posts stand. The woman rubbed a bruise on her arm. You regret coming back? No. You think I regret staying? No. You think she regrets finding us? He looked at the girl. Not yet. The woman hammered again. The post went in straight. No cracks. No splinters. She smiled faintly. "You proud of that one?" he asked. "More proud than most things I've done. Should we carve something on it?" "Not yet." "Why not?" "It ain't earned it yet." They kept working. No wire ever came. No tools for stretching it. No nails for fixing anything shut. Just wood. Just space. Just rhythm and silence. By mid-afternoon, the line curved slightly toward the creek. The girl walked beside it, counting under her breath. "You counting posts?" he asked. "No. Steps." "What for?" "In case I have to run." "You planning on it?" "No." "Then why count?" "So I know how far I've come." He looked at the woman. She didn't say anything, just watched the girl walk. "You want to name it?" he asked. "The fence?" "No. This place. It already has a name." "What is it?" "Whatever they whisper when they see smoke in the hills." He touched the bandage on his hand. It bled through already. She stepped toward him, pulled it off, wrapped a clean one tighter. "Thanks. You're stubborn." "So are you." "That's why it's working." The girl dropped a stone beside each post, small ones, round, like tiny markers. He asked, "What's that for?" "Graves." "Graves? Of what used to be here?" He didn't laugh. Neither did the woman. "You think they'll dig any of this up?" the girl asked. "If they do, they won't like what's underneath," he said. They finished the last post near sundown. The ground glowed orange. Wind picked up dust. The fence wasn't perfect. It didn't close anything in, but it didn't need to. He wiped sweat from his face, sat on the edge of the porch, hand throbbing. The woman leaned against the last post. "No one's going to understand it." "They don't have to." She nodded. "It's ours." The girl placed the last stone. "Now it remembers us." And the posts stood silent, not to warn, not to hold, just to say they were still here. The smoke woke him first. Thick. No crackle, no flame. Just heat pressing against his chest like a weight. He sat up fast, breath caught in his throat. The woman was already on her feet, dragging the blanket off the bed. She didn't yell. He dropped to his knees, felt under the frame. The floorboards pulsed with warmth. The wood glowed. Not fire, not quite. Just red. Like embers that never needed kindling. He pulled back his hand, skin untouched, but the air hurt. "Get the water," she said. "There's no fire." "There's heat." He grabbed the bucket, poured it straight under the bed. Steam rose. No hiss. No change. Just more heat. She stepped back. "It's not spreading." "You sure?" "I'd know." He dropped the bucket, looked again. Beneath the board, something shifted. Not flame. Something black. Something soft. "The ashes," he said. "What?" "The ledger. The one she brought." "You think it's burning now?" "It's been burning." She crouched low, squinted. "It's not paper anymore." "What is it?" "Memory." "That don't make sense." "It doesn't have to." He stood. The room felt smaller, hotter. The window fogged from nothing. He wiped it clean with his arm. "The girl," he said. "What?" "She's not here." He threw open the door. The night air hit him cold, sharp. The porch was empty at first. Then he turned. She sat at the far edge, feet swinging, back to the house. "You all right?" he called. She nodded without looking. "It's burning, isn't it?" "You did this?" "No." "You swear?" "I don't swear." He stepped closer. "You want us scared?" "No." "Then what do you want?" "For it to finish." He crouched beside her. "You knew it would burn?" "Yes." "When?" "Before I found it." He looked back at the door. "You were just waiting." "No, I was watching." "Same thing." "No, it's not." The woman appeared in the doorway. "Is it out?" "No," he said. "But it's not growing." She crossed her arms. "You plan this?" The girl shook her head. "Some things plan themselves. That's not how it works. It is here." He looked at the girl. "You safe?" "Yes." "You sure?" "It wasn't meant for me." "Then who?" She looked at him, then at the woman. "Whoever wrote it. It's ash now. It still breathes." He stood. "We need to put it out." "It won't let you." The woman stepped off the porch. "Why now?" "It waited until the last post was in the ground." "The fence?" Yes. Why would that matter? Because you marked something permanent. He laughed once, bitter. We didn't ask for permission. Didn't need it. That's why it burns. The woman looked at the girl. You need to tell us what this is. I don't know. You're lying. I'm not. You brought that ledger. Yes. You knew what it held. I knew what it touched. Same thing. The girl finally turned around. Her eyes were dry, steady. It was always going to burn, she said. The man walked back inside. The heat was fading. The boards still glowed faint, but no smoke rose now. Just a soft hum in the walls, like something finished humming a tune it never shared. He dropped to one knee, lifted the edge of the bed. Underneath, nothing remained. Just dust, not even black, just pale, like flour left too long in the air. She came in behind him. You feel that? No. I do. What is it? Weight gone. He stood slowly. You believe her? I don't think she knows how to lie. She's still a kid. So were we once. He looked at her. You think this is over? No. You think it's beginning? Yes. They didn't talk more. He opened the window. Let the cool night in. Outside, the girl was still sitting, still waiting. He joined her again. Why aren't you running? Because you let me stay. You think that means something? Yes. What? That I'm not the only one left carrying it. The ledger? No. The fire. You think it passed to us? No. I think it recognized us. He rubbed his jaw. You gonna sleep? I already did. You dream. No. Why not? Because tonight was memory, not story. She stood. You don't need to ask more. I will anyway. I know. He followed her back inside. The woman had set 2 cups on the table, one for him, one for the girl. Nothing special, just warm water. The girl took hers, sipped. You feel different? The woman asked. Yes. He nodded. Good or bad? Both. They didn't ask more. The bed didn't smoke again. The house didn't creak. And for the first time since she arrived, the girl lay on the floor near the fire and didn't wake through the night. She found it behind the loose board under the basin. A thin envelope, yellowed and pressed flat like it hadn't been touched in years. She turned it over in her hand once, twice, then again. No name, no seal, just a line of shaky ink at the bottom corner. To be sent to the capital. You hide this? She asked. He looked up from the stool, boots untied, knife across his lap. What is it? She slid it across the table. Read it. He didn't reach for it. Where was it? Under the sink. He stared at it. You open it. No. You should have left it there. She opened it anyway, pulled out the folded parchment, read slow. To the office of the governor, she said aloud, I write to request clemency. His jaw tensed. Stop. You wrote this? Yeah. When? Before the first winter. Before I left. She scanned the next line. I confess my role in the altercation. I claim no pride. I seek peace. He stood. I couldn't finish it. Why not? Because I didn't mean it. You did when you started. I was tired. She placed the paper flat on the table. You were ready to beg. He nodded. And then I wasn't. Why not? I saw who that letter was for. It wasn't for me. Who then? Some man who never existed, some name they needed to bury to keep their own boots clean. She read the last line. Sincerely. But the name wasn't there. You couldn't even write it? She asked. I didn't know what it was anymore. She leaned forward. That name still yours? I don't know. Then burn it. He hesitated. What if I'll need it? For who? For when they come. They're already here. He looked toward the girl sitting near the porch rail, legs swinging, humming something low. You think she needs that letter? The woman asked. He shook his head. No. Then burn it. He picked it up, held it between 2 fingers. You think this makes me a coward? I think keeping it does. He turned it over once. The ink had faded, but the guilt hadn't. She stepped closer. You were that man once. Not now. What changed? You stayed. He walked to the stove, pulled the lid off. Flames low, but steady. He looked back. She didn't speak. The girl turned her head, but didn't say a word. He held the letter above the flame, paused, then dropped it in. It caught fast, curled quick. The room didn't fill with smoke, just heat, a soft crackle. He watched it fall to ash. She stood beside him. Feel better? No. But lighter? Maybe. The girl walked in barefoot. What was that? A letter, he said. From who? From who I used to be. She looked at the ash. Did you ask for forgiveness? No. Why not? Didn't want it anymore. She stared at the flames. Good. You think it matters? He asked her. The girl smiled, just barely. Now it does. He blinked. First time I've seen you do that. Do what? Smile. Don't get used to it. He looked at the woman. She scares me. She should. He sat down, pulled his boots on. You think they'll come looking? They already are. He nodded toward the fire. Then let them find no apology waiting. She placed her hand on his shoulder. Only who we are now, he looked up. And who's that? The ones that stayed. He took a breath. You ever write a letter like that? No. You ever think about it? Too many times. Why didn't you? I didn't know where to send it. You still don't? She nodded. Now I do. He tilted his head. Where? She looked at the floor. Here. He laughed under his breath. You're stubborn. You're just slow to catch up. He stood, walked to the girl. You want to write anything down? She shook her head. Everything I need's already buried. Nothing left to burn. No, just things left to build. He looked back at the woman. You believe her? Yes. He turned to the girl. You think we're good enough now? She looked at him. Really looked. Not yet. But you're close. He nodded. That's something. The fire burned low. The air held no smoke, just warmth. They didn't speak again that night. They didn't need to. They came just past noon. 3 riders, dust-coated, sun-bitten, familiar in that way men get when they've done bad things too many times and still sleep through the night. He saw them first. Stood at the fence with his hand resting on the last post they'd driven into the ground. Didn't call out, didn't wave, just watched. The woman stepped out next, saw the way the horses moved, calm but pointed, like the men weren't scouting, like they already knew. She wiped her hands on her skirt. Didn't say anything either. The girl was sitting on the steps humming. The moment the men got close enough to be real, she stopped. Her shoulders tensed. Her face changed. You all right? The woman asked. The girl nodded, didn't blink. You know them? One of them spits before he talks, she said. The riders pulled up near the porch. 3 horses. 3 guns. 1 question. The one in the middle spoke first. Ma'am, he said. You seen a girl come through here? The woman didn't answer, just looked. Little thing, he added. Burned dress. Walks like she don't know she's limping. She wiped her forehead with the back of her hand. I see one every morning. The second man laughed. Funny. The girl didn't move. The third man scanned the house. We ain't looking for trouble. Then you're not looking hard enough, the woman said. The man on the left leaned on his saddle horn. She ran from something. We're just trying to bring her back. The outlaw stepped forward now. You bring her back to what? The man shrugged. Ain't our place to say. The girl stood slowly. She yours? The first man asked. The woman didn't look at the girl. She belongs to no one. The man nodded once. Still, you seen her. The outlaw stepped in front of the girl. You asking again? I'm asking polite. Don't. The second man chuckled. Look, we don't want trouble with your woman. She ain't mine either. Then maybe shut your mouth. The outlaw didn't move. That what you said before? To who? To her. They didn't answer. The girl stepped to the side now, just enough for the sunlight to hit her face. The scar was faint. Not new. The man on the right squinted. That her? The girl tilted her head. You don't recognize me. He hesitated. Maybe. Was it night? She asked. He frowned. Were you drunk? No one spoke. Was it you who held the torch? The first man's jaw tightened. What's this? Was it you who laughed? The woman reached behind the water barrel and pulled the blade. Small, sharp, clean. The outlaw didn't stop her. The girl stepped down the last step. You killed me, she said. "That's so?" the third man said. She nodded. "But I got better." The one in the middle reached for his belt. The woman moved first. The blade didn't flash. It just arrived. Across the face. Fast. Blood hit the saddle before the man even yelled. The second tried to dismount. The outlaw's fist landed first, then again. Nose broke on the second swing. The third pulled his pistol but never fired. He stared into the girl's eyes too long. Forgot what fear was. She stepped close, placed one hand on his chest. "Say my name," she whispered. He stammered. I don't." She didn't move. "Say it." He dropped the gun. The woman kicked it away. The first man was bleeding into his shirt now. "You'll hang for this." The outlaw shook his head. "You don't even remember what you did." The second man coughed blood. "We were just following orders." The girl turned. "You always were." The third man slid from his horse, knees shaking. "Please," he said. She stepped closer. "You made me ash." "I didn't." "You laughed." He fell to the ground. "I don't remember." "Good," the woman said. "Then we'll make sure you forget everything else." The three men rode away later, limping, bloodied, one without a horse, one without a tooth, one with no name left. The outlaw cleaned the blood off the porch. The woman wiped her blade on a rag she never planned to keep. The girl sat back down, legs swinging again. Same place. "You okay?" the outlaw asked. "Better." "You remember them?" "Yes." "You want them dead?" "No." "Why not?" "Because they don't know who they were anymore." The woman sat beside her. "You sure?" The girl nodded. "Now they'll live in that confusion. That's enough." The outlaw leaned against the post. "You think they'll come back?" "Not as them." She smiled again. "Twice in 2 days." He said, "You getting soft on us?" "No." The woman asked, "You feel safer now?" The girl nodded. "Now they're the ones forgetting." And none of them said another word. She brought out the kitchen knife like it was any other day. No ribbon, no lace. Just the same blade she used to slice bread and scare men. She walked to the middle post of the fence line, wiped dust off the top, and pressed the tip in. He stood beside her, arms crossed, watching. The girl sat near the porch steps, legs folded under her, holding something in her lap. No one asked what it was. "You sure about this?" he asked. "No." "Then why?" "Because it's time." "You want a preacher?" "Ain't no priest but the earth." He watched her carve the first letter, slow, deep, her hand steady. The sound of blade on wood filled the space between their breaths. "What's that?" the girl asked. "Our initials," she said. "You getting married?" "Already are." "Since when?" "Since we stayed." The wind picked up soft. Dust curled around the post and moved on. He stepped forward. "You want me to do mine?" he asked. "No. Yours don't have to be carved." "Why not?" "Because you're already here." Still, she handed him the knife. He looked at the letters she'd made. Rough, crooked, real. He didn't change them, didn't fix them, just pressed his thumb beside hers into the wood, held it there until the grain bit back. The girl rose, walked over with a strip of red cloth, torn, frayed at the edge. She tied it around the top of the post. "That from your dress?" the woman asked. "Yes." "Why give it up?" "It's not giving up if it stays." The outlaw looked at them both. "You two planned this?" "No." The woman said. "Yes." The girl whispered. He laughed once. "Figures." She turned to him. "You regret it?" "No." "You think it means anything?" "I think it already did." The knife stayed in her hand. She looked at the next post. "Should we keep carving?" "No," he said. "Why not?" "Because the rest of the world ain't invited." She smiled. "Good." They stood there a while. No one moved. The wind circled, then left them alone. The girl sat back down. Braid falling loose over her shoulder. The red ribbon fluttered. "You think the sheriff will see it?" she asked. "He'll see the post," the woman said. "And he'll know better." "You sure?" "No." The outlaw turned back to the house. "You hear that?" "Hear what?" the woman asked. He stepped onto the porch, opened the door, paused. "That." The girl followed. "What's it sound like?" "Not sure." The woman stepped in behind them. The walls didn't creak. The floor didn't groan. No boards shifting under weight. No wind through broken glass, just something low, something warm. The outlaw said, "It's humming." The girl tilted her head. "Like breath?" "Yeah." The woman touched the wall. "Not fear?" "No." The outlaw sat at the table. "This house ever breathed before?" "Only when it burned," the girl said. "But not like this?" "No." The woman placed the knife on the table. "Then we did something right." He nodded. "Guess so." The girl pulled a chair beside him. "You gonna tell people?" "About what?" "This." "No." "Why not?" "Because it's not theirs." The woman leaned on the counter. "You want a dress?" "No." "You want a ring?" "I already got one." "You want a picture?" "No." "Then what do you want?" "Just this." He looked at her. "You sure?" "Always." She picked up the knife again, spun it once in her palm, then set it down for good. "You think it'll last?" he asked. "No." "That bother you?" "No." The house settled around them, not heavy, just present. The girl folded her arms on the table. "Now what?" "Now we eat," the woman said. He stood. "I'll get water." She smiled. Married life starting strong. He opened the door, paused again, looked at the fence post. The ribbon moved, the initials stayed. The girl said, "It won't rot." "Would." "No." "What we did." He nodded. "Hope not." She whispered, "It won't." Inside, the kettle boiled. The blade stayed clean. The wind outside passed by like it forgot what it was chasing. And for once, nothing tried to get in. He hadn't been to town in over a year, not since the last time someone spit at his boots and called it mercy. But now the road felt different beneath them, not softer, just less like punishment. He didn't wear a hat. Let the sun hit his face. She walked beside him, her arm through his like it belonged there. The girl trailed behind, carrying a small burlap bag that clinked when she walked. "You sure about this?" he asked. "No," the woman said. "You think they'll recognize me?" "Yes." "You think they'll care?" "Not anymore." The girl shifted the bag from one hand to the other. "How much salt we getting?" "Just enough," the woman said. "Enough for what?" "For keeping what's ours clean." They passed the first house slow. Curtains moved. A man nodded from his porch. Not a smile, just a nod. "You see that?" he said. "I did." He nodded. "He did." "He's never done that." "Not when you were someone else." They reached the store. Wood warped from weather, bell above the door, still crooked. He opened it, held it for both of them. She didn't thank him. Just walked in like the place owed her. The girl moved straight to the counter, set the bag down. "Salt," she said. The clerk looked at her, then at them. "How much?" "A pound." He scooped it into the bag without asking more. "Anything else?" The outlaw stepped forward. "Coffee, flour." The clerk moved slow. "You're back." "I am." The clerk didn't meet his eyes. "You staying?" He nodded. "That's the plan." The clerk handed over the items. Didn't shake, didn't flinch. "That'll be 3.5. He paid with coins that didn't rattle. The clerk counted each one. "You need anything else?" "No." "All right then." No one called him by name. But as they stepped away, the man behind them, old, narrow, missing 2 fingers, tipped his hat. "Mister," he said. He paused, looked at the woman. She raised her brow. "Well," he muttered, "that's new." The girl whispered, "You got upgraded." They passed the bank. 2 men stood out front smoking. One spit, the other nodded. "Mister," one of them said. He kept walking, didn't nod back. "You feel different?" the woman asked. "No." "You look different." "Do I?" "Straighter." The girl caught up. "How many people got to call you Mister before it sticks?" He shrugged. "More than 2. "Then we got work to do." They left town without looking back. The road home didn't wind. It waited. Dust clung to their boots like it remembered who they were before, but had decided not to bring it up. He carried the coffee. She carried nothing. The girl carried the salt like it was gold. "You think they forgot?" he asked. "No," the woman said. "Then why aren't they saying anything?" "Because forgetting and forgiving ain't the same." "You think they forgave me?" "No." But they nodded. "That's different." "How?" "They believe you'll leave them alone." He snorted. That's all it takes. Out here, yes. The girl said. Some of them looked scared. Good, the woman said. You want them scared? I want them honest. They reached the hill before the cabin, sun just behind the roofline, smoke curling from the chimney. He stopped. It's not small, he said. No, she replied. Used to look small. You used to be empty. He looked at her. You saying I'm full now? I'm saying the house fits. The girl ran ahead, set the salt down by the door, sat on the step. It still hums, she said. He opened the door, stepped inside. Everything was where it should be. The knife on the table, the pan over the stove, the cup beside the basin. She followed, didn't take off her shawl, just stood there and breathed. He asked, You want to go back? Where? To who you were. No. You sure? Yes. He looked around. It's not just a cabin anymore. No. It's ours. She nodded. Now everyone knows it. He walked back out, sat on the steps beside the girl. You scared they'll come again? They might. What will you do? Stand here, next to us. Yes. The woman came out with a pot of water, set it beside the steps. They don't ask who she is. No, he said. They don't ask who we are. They see enough. They call you Mister. He smiled faint, better than what they used to say. The girl held her hand out. Let me see. He placed his palm in hers. She ran her fingers over the scar. Still healing. Yeah, she dropped his hand. Still means you lived. He looked out at the horizon. I don't want to leave again. She said, Then don't. The woman pressed her foot against the base of the post. They might come for you still. I know. They might come for her. I know. You'll fight? I won't need to. Why not? He leaned back. Because they're not the only ones watching now. The ribbon on the post didn't move, but the wind shifted, and no one said a word. She didn't check the door that night, just laid the knife on the shelf, unlaced her boots, and let them drop soft beside the cot. No glance at the window, no lean toward the latch, just the quiet act of someone who no longer flinched. He noticed, watched from the chair beside the stove, one leg crossed over the other, hands resting. You forgetting something? He asked. No. You always check the door. Not tonight. He nodded. You sure? I don't need to be. The girl sat cross-legged near the hearth, folding fabric. Not hers. Old dresses pulled from a chest they hadn't opened in weeks. She hummed a song he didn't know. Or maybe he did once before forgetting felt easier than remembering. He leaned back. You tired? The woman's eyes were already closed. Yes. You gonna sleep deep? If I'm lucky. The girl paused her humming. Luck's been changing. You believe that? He asked. Enough to hum. He watched her fold another dress, light blue torn at the hem. Where'd you learn that song? Didn't learn it. It stayed. He rubbed the side of his face. You think she's safe? The girl nodded. Tonight she is. He looked at the woman again, her breath steady, arms crossed over her stomach, no tension in her brow, no twitch in her fingers. She used to sleep like that? The girl shook her head. Never. What changed? You did. He didn't speak, just stared at the floor. A knot in the wood looked like a scar. He'd stared at it too many times to count. Outside, the wind kicked up. The house didn't creak. The fence didn't groan. You think the house knows? He asked. Knows what? That she's not scared anymore? Yes. You think it matters? Everything matters to something. He rose, walked to the window, pulled the curtain just enough to see the night. The ribbon on the fence post barely moved. You cold? He asked. No. The girl said. You hungry? No. He turned back. Why the dresses? They needed folding. They yours? No. You pretending? I'm practicing. For what? Belonging. He sat again. You feel like you do? Some nights. Like tonight? Yes. He leaned forward. You think she'll sleep through till morning? She's earned it. The fire cracked. Not loud, not angry, just enough to remind them it was there. He looked at the knife on the shelf. She really not gonna check the door? No. She trusts me that much. Yes. That scare you? No. Why not? Because she's right. He nodded, looked down at his hands. The scar on his thumb had faded. The one on his wrist hadn't. You think I changed. You stayed. That all it takes? It's more than most. The girl folded the last dress, placed it in the basket, sat still. She sleep like that when she was younger? He asked. I didn't know her then. You know her now? Yes. He looked back at the cot. She hadn't moved. You ever see someone sleep like that? Once. Who? Someone who thought the war was over. Was it? For one night. The wind shifted again. Still, nothing moved inside. You think they'll come again? He asked. No. You sure? No. But you're calm. Yes. Why? Because she went to sleep first. He nodded. That's something. The fire dimmed. The room warmed. He stood, stretched, walked over to the shelf, picked up the knife, carried it to the counter, set it beside the kettle. The girl watched. You not keeping it by the bed? No. Why? Don't feel like I need to. She smiled. Then maybe I'll sleep too. He looked at the floor, then at her. You want a blanket? I got one. You want light? No. He walked to the window, closed the curtain fully, sat again. You think we'll keep this? She asked. What? This quiet. I hope so. You believe in hope? Some nights. He leaned back, closed his eyes, listened. The girl didn't hum again. The woman didn't stir. Outside, the ribbon stayed still. Inside, the house breathed like it forgot how to fear.